Oh, oh, oh. Hey, figured it out. Okay, hold on. Um, I didn't prepare for this very well. Yeah, okay. Um, um, okay, okay, okay. Um, um, I don't know what's going on. Okay. I gotta share that I'm streaming because nobody knows I'm here. Uh-oh, where did my stuff go? What's going on? My window. Whoa. Okay. What the fuck is happening? Okay, I was on the wrong thing. Okay, should be good now. We should be fine. Um, I gotta do a little thing. I only have one monitor. Cause I'm doing this on. Where'd I put it's in my ear? Cause I'm doing this on my thing. Hold on. Do a little bluebee. There we go. There we go. Should have prepped a little bit more for this. There we go. I don't know how to do the add symbol. Posting to my story. Okay. Uh, I don't think I have. Okay. 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 I have all of the things that I need open, I think. Actually, mm, 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 mm. We should be. Yeah. Should, yeah. Nice. Okay. I have it pulled up on my phone now. I don't know why I'm talking because no one's here except for me, but that's okay. Maybe people will show up, maybe they won't. This is just for me, for fun, to see how I am. I don't have a setup at all. It's just me on my couch. Uh, Probably would have been a bit smarter to move my stuff to my room, but it's okay. So I don't really know what I'm gonna be drawing, really. I'm just, I was thinking about doing like a request thing on my Instagram. Uh, but the problem with that is I don't have any like, oh, something scared my cats. I don't have anything that I'm like into right now in terms of uh content. So the problem is I don't really know what people would want to request. I'm gonna draw. I don't know. There we go. Smiley face. I don't think anyone's gonna come to this. Oh, there might be one person here. I don't know. I'm hello, one person who might be here. I'm just drawing, just doodling. Let's do a little. We'll do a little blue bee. There we go. I don't know. It's a little. How delayed is it? It's not that bad. Just hanging out. It'll be time. There he is. That's my guy. Yeah. Okay. I need. I didn't. This was an extremely impulsive thing. We're gonna draw something. Mm, 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 mm. I did not think this through. We'll draw. Let's draw a warrior cat for old. No, I'm gonna draw a pony. I'm gonna draw Twilight Sparkle, and no one's gonna stop me because no one's here. My roommate is gone for the weekend. She is visiting family or whatever, like a big old loser that she is. No one tell her I said that, because then she'll call me a loser, which I am, but it's only fine when I say it. What about little Twilight? There she is, little little Twilight silhouette. It's my baby girl, my baby grill. I don't really know what to talk about. One, because no one's here, so I'm kind of just talking to myself, I guess. Uh, which is fine. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I expected. That sounded like okay. That sounded like harsh in the sense of like I don't want to be like, oh, I don't know what I expected. Nobody likes me. Nobody likes hanging out with me. That's not true. It's kind of true, but it's not true in the sense that I don't know. You know what I mean? You being me, the one person who's here. This is horrible. I'm like, turns out talking and drawing is not an easy task. So I'm gonna just. I would play music, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. I don't know if you can get copyright stricken during a live stream. Uh, like in the middle of it, I doubt it, but it would most likely mean that I wouldn't be able to keep it on my channel. I don't even think I will keep this up. I'll definitely hold on to it for fun, for myself, but because I'm a narcissist and I want to watch myself talk to nobody. Um, I forgot what I was talking about. This is awesome. This is epic. Guys, me, what are we doing here? I didn't prep for this. I didn't do nothing. I just fucking started doing that. Am I allowed to curse? Chat, am I allowed to curse? I said yes in my head that I am. Turns out talking and drawing is freaking hard. It's difficult. This is hard. This is harder than I expected it to be. Uh, do a little zoom in action. Do a little. Do a little that. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna rant about nothing. So My Little Pony is a show that I've seen. Let's see how many times. I've seen it like 3 times. It's probably safe to say like 3.5 times. Because I think I started a rewatch semi recently. Semi recently being like earlier last year, so like a year ago. Um, but I don't think I finished it because I think I was going through something at the time. I remember what it was, but I'm choosing to keep that. I'm choosing to keep that bit of information to myself for now. But I don't think I finished rewatching it. I think I got to like. I don't even think I made it to Twilight being an alicorn. So I didn't. I guess maybe not 3.5 times. More like three into fifth. Three and a five. 3 point like 2 times I've seen it. The show, My Little Pony. Hello, one person who was here. That isn't me. I don't know if you even have audio on. If you do, I sound like a freaking dork. I'm talking about My Little Pony because I'm drawing Twilight Sparkle for My Little Pony because I didn't plan this at all. I don't know what I'm doing. So you're just gonna, if you're listening to me, um, I apologize in advance because I'm just gonna be rambling about nothing. Um, well, about My Little Pony, but basically nothing. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. I've seen the show three and what a fourth times. I I r- I don't even know what exactly I'm going to be talking about related to the show. Also, this is horrible. Look at that. What's going on here? Twilight, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my baby girl baby. Here, we're gonna just. Oh, what's going on? We're gonna hide her, but we'll keep her there, and we'll start over. We'll go with purple to fit her vibe. We'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, so Twilight here. She's my favorite. She's that's my favorite. She's my favorite. She's my favorite character. I've said that like three times. I don't know if you can tell, person who's here, whoever you may be. Uh, I'm nervous. I've never talked before. For fun fact, this is the first time I've ever said any words whatsoever. So that's my excuse to you, is that I've never said words before, and we're just gonna pretend like we're all nice here. I'm sure you are nice, but we're gonna pretend that I've never said words. And if I go silent every once in a while, it's because I am either A, thinking of what to say, or B, focusing on what I'm doing because as it turns out, drawing and talking is hard, at least for me. I've never really drawn while talking at the same time. I'm usually pretty. Turns out it's a pretty silent activity, and it takes way more brain power than I thought that it did, at least for me. Because drawing for me is a pretty mindless task. I would say a lot of it is muscle memory. Like the only times that I like really focus on what I'm doing is when I'm doing like commissions, mainly because I am so scared of messing up uh drawing someone's character, drawing whatever they're paying me to draw. Um I straight up have no idea if you're even listening to me talk right now. If you are, again, I apologize. Uh but yeah, turns out drawing and talking is really difficult. And it takes a lot more brain power than I assumed to draw and speak at the same time. And I feel like I'm not giving my best. But then again, I'm not really giving my best just because I didn't plan on doing this today. I didn't even think this would work. I was kind of just setting shit up and hoping that maybe it would work so that I could stream in the future when I have the chance to warn people. But I was like, you know what? We're just gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun today, and we're just gonna practice, and we're just gonna see how it goes. I think that's pretty good. I'm talking about the drawing now. This is pretty all right now. The hair is kind of a bit much. I never know how to draw these damn horses. I never do. I feel like every time I draw them, my style changes. I never know to. I feel like the problem is I don't know if I want to lean into the. I kind of like that. I don't know if I want to lean into the My Little Pony art style or not. I or like completely go my own way, as Gabriela Montez said in High School Musical 2. A movie I have never seen. I've probably seen it. I'm sure I have when I was a little tyke. But also, it's very possible that I didn't, because I don't know if I was that age that that movie came out. I think I was a Nickelodeon kid more than anything. At the time, I didn't really know much about Disney, at least Disney Channel. I watched plenty of Disney movies. But, anyways, back to what I was saying before. I got distracted. I have autism, can you tell? Uh, I I never know how to draw these dang horses because I never as a kid I pretty much oh, didn't make a new lane. Oh, what did I do? Okay. As a kid I kind of just copied the show style. Copied. It was not good. Don't I I drew My Little Pony as a kid when I was in like the 4th grade. So it was all I knew how to do was copy stuff. I didn't know that you could just like draw shit that came up in your brain. All I knew was to. Do I want to draw our eye open? Yeah, we'll do that. That's cute. Um, but even then, when I copied, it was not. Trust that it was not good. It was very, very bad, and it was all always in pen or marker because I hated drawing with pencil. I still do because it just I don't like getting the stuff. I need her horn to be longer. The stuff, the graphite on my fingies. Uh, so and I have like some of those drawings still, and I look at them and I'm like, wow, who would have thought? Who would have thunk that this little kid who's drawing horses like imagine the shakiest hand you ever seen like this. Oh, the shakiest damn thing. The biggest eyes. I did it like this. I tried to copy the show style when I was little. I would do this, and I would like color it in. Honestly, this is I'd draw Twilight's hair like I think like this. That this is better than what I did as a kid. It's hard to replicate, unfortunately. Otherwise, I feel like I'd be doing that shit all the time. I like trying to replicate how I drew as a kid because there was something. While it was very stiff, the art that I did as a kid, it was also like because that's all I knew how to do. So it was technically very the loosest I was, and it was just whatever thought came to my mind. I remember as a kid, would I used to have this little like it's not an etch a sketch. What are those things called? The if I open it up, is it gonna open my fucking Google? No, I'm looking it up. What are those things called? Little drawing board for, for kids. Uh oh, it pulled it up. Well, you know what? We all get to look. We all get to look. Like it was like one of those like metal ones. Not metal. It was one of those like magnets. This shit is not it. I mean, I had stuff like this too, like where you had the little pen and it would like do it in color. Uh, no, I doubt they even make the things that I had anymore because it was old. Can we go back to this, please? Is it gonna go back? Please? Waiting for the delay. I want to make sure that it's okay. Anyways, wow. The what you're seeing in the stream, person who also, I don't even know, you may be me on my other monitor. I have no idea. The colors are interesting. The colors don't match. I need to thumbs up with my phone. I know what it is. My phone is. I'm looking at the stream on my phone. I don't even remember why I went on that side tangent. Oh yeah, I had that little like drawing magnet thing as a kid, where it used like magnets to like pick up on where you were placing your pen, so it looked like you were drawing. Uh, I I fucking took that thing everywhere with me. My parents were so annoyed. I used it so much. Uh, I don't think I have it anymore, just because it really. I might still have it. I don't know. But I used it religiously every day. I brought it everywhere if I was able to. It was a big thing, even for like a kid. It was like imagine like here's me as a kid. Here's little kid me, and then here's like me now, all cool now. I'm even get myself some sunglasses. That's how cool I am. Sorry. Uh, it was like this big. It was bigger than me. Uh, and I took that thing everywhere. I remember I would sit and I would draw on that thing for fucking hours. It was so easy to keep me entertained as a kid as long as I was able to draw on something. And my parents knew that. Uh, so, because I don't know if you know this, but turns out when you have an autistic kid, which they didn't know at the time, and they still don't know that I have autism, but it makes sense that I do. Uh, turns out when you're growing up autistic, you can be really annoying when you don't have something to do, because you just won't leave anyone alone, and they they don't like that. They don't like being bothered, which is fair enough. I don't want some like snotty kid coming up to me being like, make me food or whatever. I'm getting distracted again. Uh, I so I had that drawing thing, and I was really into as a kid. I was very into My Little Pony, obviously. Well, okay, I was definitely not as into it as like people that I knew. Like I didn't even know. I mean I because My Little Pony is I had a very interesting relationship with My Little Pony as a kid because I definitely seemed like the type of kid. Oh, I definitely seemed like the type of kid that would be into My Little Pony, and I was. Um, but I didn't get into it like naturally. I had a friend in like the fourth grade who was really into collecting uh the little toys. My stomach just growled, and I really oh, there they go. Goodbye. Um, and I hope no one heard that. And I guess no one did hear it because they left, and I'm all on my own again. But I'm just gonna keep yapping because this is kind of fun. Honestly, I like talking. I feel like this is uh oh, I feel like this is very refreshing behavior compared to how I usually am when I draw. But yeah, I had those little drawing things as a kid, and oh yeah, I forgot I was talking about how I got into My Little Pony. My friend in like the fourth grade, not my current best friend, who I also met in the fourth grade. I met her through this this little girl who was certainly interesting. But I digress. I won't get into that yet. That is future Zolfic Matthew Blueby lore, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Hmm, this tail. I can fix it later. Um, anyways, I this girl was really into collecting the little figurines, and she showed them to me and like showed me all the characters, and I got into it. I'm yawning. Oh my god. I got into My Little Pony through that, which when I was like a baby, I remember watching like Gen 3, but that was a whole different. I don't remember that shit at all. I remember like I have a memory of myself watching Gen 3 as a kid, but I don't remember what it was. I don't remember I remember where I was, but I don't remember like anything from it. And that's all I really needed to say. I didn't need to add on to that thought. Um, but yeah, I watched Gen 3 when I was a little tyke, a little baby. And I got into Gen 4 when I was a fourth grader. And the problem with that was at the time it was airing. Hello, person. At the time, I'm talking about My Little Pony. I don't know if you're the same person who was here before, but hello. Uh, at the time, in the fourth grade, you don't have control really over like anything that you do because you're like 8 or 9 years old. I was probably 8 because I was very young for my grade. Oh, they're gone again. Goodbye. Um, but what do I want to do here? I'll do a little, I'll do a little Twilight Star. Uh, but yeah, when you're a fourth grader, you don't have control over what you really watch or anything. You kind of do, but my parents are very not restrictive, but you know, they knew what I watched. I watched Nickelodeon, and if I wasn't watching that, it would probably be Disney Channel. But like I said previously, I was not a Disney Channel kid. I was a Nickelodeon kid or a Nicktoons kid, if anyone remembers fucking Nicktoons, which was just Nickelodeon, but it was all the cartoons that they showed. So I watched a lot of like Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob and I think a little bit of like Danny Phantom, but nothing crazy. Uh, Unfortunately, I kind of missed the boat on all of that. Anyways, I digress. So it was hard to like watch the show. It was hard to watch My Little Pony because also it was at an age where one, I had my siblings who were all younger than me, but not by much. Um, and it was at an age where we would bully each other a lot. So like when I was watching, if they caught me watching My Little Pony at my grown age of 8 years old, they would fucking slander me. Just rip me a new one for sure. They were mean little 7, 7 and 5 year olds, however old they were. My sister is the same age as me because we're step siblings. So she's like a month younger than I am, but she bullied me for stuff that I would watch, which is normal. That's little kid things. Um, but yeah, if they caught me watching My Little Pony, nah. As an 8-year-old, no, that's too old to be watching My Little Pony. You're too old, and you need to get a hobby, like watching uh fucking Clifford the Big Red Dog or whatever. That's even younger. That's like baby stuff. Anyways, yeah, 8 years old was too old to be watching My Little Pony in my house. So I had to like secretly watch it, aka uh if I was alone in my room, which I shared with my sister. So if she wasn't home for whatever reason, uh, I would secretly watch it, or like early in the mornings, like 7 a.m. or something, when everyone was home, but parents were asleep. Hello, person, whoever you may be. I'm talking about watching My Little Pony as a kid. Uh, but yeah, I would secretly watch it a little bit in the early mornings. Oh, goodbye. Uh, I'm losing my train of thought. I gotta stop paying attention to to whatever. I just gotta like keep yapping. Uh, yeah, I'd watch it secretly as a kid. Oh, I moved my stuff. So I didn't get to see much of it really. I distinctly remember watching. I don't remember the episode name. The one where Zakora is brought in. I remember watching that episode. That episode aired a lot when I was little. That's the other problem is they would only really air reruns of very early episodes because I think at the time when I got into it in like the fourth grade, that was like when Twilight became an alicorn for me. I think that was about that time. Because I remember, yeah, because I remember when Magical Mystery Cure came out. I remember when that came out because hopefully can't you being me can't hear my cats are about to start fighting. Uh, so if you hear like yelling, it's because they're beating each other up. Um, I can zoom in. What am I doing? Uh, but yeah, I remember watching Magical Mystery Cure and struggling to watch Magical Mystery Cure. Yep, my cats are fighting. Don't worry about them. They're fine. They, boys. Okay, they're embarrassing me. Of course, someone comes in the stream and my cats are embarrassing me. Oh, goodbye. I paid attention to them. Every time I pay attention to someone who comes in here, they leave. So I'm just gonna stop paying attention to the people, like I said before. But anyways, um, maybe I should put in the chat what I'm talking about. Really talking about MLP. Also, my cats are fighting in the background. Please ignore them. Can I fucking type? Ignore them. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I remember Magical Mystery Cure came out when I was but a wee fourth grader, and it it really changed my life for two reasons. One, because I fought so hard to watch it, because for some stupid reason, uh, one, I didn't watch it as it aired. I watched it when someone re-uploaded it to YouTube. And for some reason, it was probably because I had to be like, I was in school, I had homework and stuff, and I had a strict routine when I was a child. I had a very strict routine. Sorry, I'm just making sure my mic is running. And that being said, I wouldn't have time to like watch anything or do anything until around like 8 p.m. at night because I'd be like doing homework or I'd be hanging out with my siblings or something, doing whatever kids did in like the fourth grade. I don't know, I don't remember. But I remember that video coming out on YouTube and I'm gonna make the line smaller. And I would start watching it, and I would get like a couple minutes in, like I'd always get to the song, like there isn't like a billion songs in that episode. I would get to the song, the one where they start getting their memories and stuff back. Um, and I would get to that part, but then like around that time, I'm pretty sure every single time I tried watching it was when like dinner would be ready. So then I'd have to stop watching it. But then after dinner, like it'd be like in my house, we would like all like, have showers and stuff, and we would all have to go in order. So I wouldn't have time to watch it again. I should have paid attention to what size pen I was using. I think it was this size. I hope so. So it'd be shower time, and then after that, it'd pretty much be bedtime. So then I wouldn't have time to watch it again because I would watch it on my iPod Touch. Yeah, I had one of those because I was a fucking epic kid. Um, and so it'd be bedtime, and then I'd do it all again the next day. Literally, because for some fucking reason, as a kid, I never thought that, and I don't know, maybe at the time you couldn't. I don't remember, because this was like earlier YouTube. This was very early YouTube. Not very early. I guess very early now. But it was early YouTube, and I didn't really know how YouTube worked as a kid. I really didn't. I was so bad at it. And I can get into that later. But I just don't think I knew that you could, like, not fast forward, but like skip ahead. I didn't think to, like, drag the little thing and go across to skip to the part that I had already, past the parts I had already seen. So I've seen the beginning of that episode like a billion times because for some reason I would watch it from the start, get all the way back to that same point, the point specifically being when, like, I think Rainbow Dash was getting her memories back, and then it'd be dinner time, and then I'd have to put it away, and then I'd do it all again the next day. And I did that way too many times until I finally was able to watch the full episode. The stars aligned, and I got to watch the full episode, and I was obsessed with it. Specifically, I remember I was obsessed with the the song. I was obsessed with the song that Celestia would sing because that was big at the time. Celestia doing anything, huge, huge. I mean, it's always big when Celestia does stuff because Celestia never does anything. I I can't get into my disdain. Disdain, is that the word that I'm looking for? I don't know. I can't get into that. I can't get into my business with Celestia right now. But yeah, Celestia singing at the time, that was like, because she never really did anything, especially very early on. They didn't make the princesses huge characters. Um, but yeah, I remember in the fourth grade that episode and that song specifically, as well as, of course, this day, Aria was huge for me as a kid. And yeah, so the only way I could watch, I think I just went on a whole rant for literally no reason, but the only way I could watch My Little Pony was on YouTube if someone had re-uploaded the the fucking video, or I guess, yeah, re-uploaded is the right word, because otherwise I'd be bullied by my siblings for watching it, because as I said before, 8 years old, way too old to be watching My Little Pony. Just too old. You need to be watching shows like, at that point you need to be watching like fucking Breaking Bad. That's you gotta grow up and I hadn't grown up. Uh, I was still watching My Little Pony and whatever else I was watching when I was 7 or 8 years old. Hmm. This hair is. I'm fighting for my life here. I'm gonna work on another part instead of the fucking hair. Twilight Terror is always a struggle, but I genuinely don't remember why I went on that whole tangent. I think I was just talking about how I got into My Little Pony. Um, and I remember it became less embarrassing for me the more I got into My Little Pony as a kid, especially around like holidays. Or I guess one holiday, the holiday where you get gifts. Because then I would get like, because obviously my parents would know I'm into My Little Pony and family members because they would tell them. So then they'd give me ponies as gifts, and I loved it. I loved it. I don't know why it sounds like I'm about to start crying. I'm really tired. Um, so obviously, you know, the the whole world unfortunately found out that I was into My Little Pony. But then I remembered that, not remembered. Then I realized it didn't really matter, because then I managed to somehow trick. I shouldn't say trick. That seems harsh. I managed to get my brother, my youngest brother at the time, uh, pre-current youngest brother that got married into my family via my mother. Um, my youngest brother, I got him into My Little Pony when he was an impressionable, like 5 year old, 6 year old, whatever age we were at the time. Because I was playing the Game Loft, I think is the thing, which I mean the My Little Pony game, uh, which I think is still around. I see it sometimes. I see advertisements for it. So I don't know why I said I think it's still around. I know it's still around. And every like couple of years I'll like get it and I'll play it, but it is like one of the God, it is the worst when it comes to pay to play. Like it is horrible. Like you have a game like Cookie Run, which I love. I love Cookie Run. I haven't played it a bit. That's where I got the name Bluebee from. Is Cookie Run because that was the name that I gave my kingdom because I wanted like a blueberry and a blue theme. But that's neither here nor there. I don't think that's the right phrase to use in this context. But anyways, a game like where am I? A game like Cookie Run is sort of pay to play. You know, you can play it without paying for anything, but you still have like the same opportunities. You know, as people who do pay, you just kind of get a couple less things. Oh, there's 3 people here now. Wow, big. I'm in the big leagues. Uh, but the My Little Pony Game Loft game is horrible with pay to play. It is the worst. It's constant advertising, just constant. Two, it affects the gameplay like directly, which I think is a big one of the bigger problems with games like that. Because unlike Cookie Run, unlike Cookie Run, paying doesn't really affect the gameplay itself. It can speed things up, yeah. You can get more cookies, which is fun. And you know, I succumb to it here and there. I would pay for the Kingdom Pass, but not necessarily like it because it would like help me play the game, but because it would like improve upon the already pre-existing gaming experience. Whereas the My Little Pony game that Game Loft has, I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. uh, there is no, there really is like hardly any gameplay unless you pay. Because otherwise, it's just sitting and waiting for so many hours and days. Which is, how they get you. That's the point. I get it. You know, especially when. Sorry if you can hear that. I just scratched my head. Uh, I want to make this. I'll keep it the way it is for now. But it is. It feels worse. It feels worse because it doesn't improve upon paying to play with the My Little Pony game on like mobile devices. That's what I'm talking about here, by the way, for the person who's here. Uh, it it didn't improve the experience. It's always just speeding it up or getting like skins, I guess, or getting different ponies. It didn't like improve the overall experience. It doesn't improve the experience of the game. Whereas Cookie Run, that's the point. Is it's you can play the game and have fun with the game without paying for anything, but you still get the same. You still get about the same experience as everyone else. But when you pay, it kind of heightens that. You actually get like more things. Whereas with the My Little Pony game, it you kind of just get the game, and instead of it improving the game, you kind of just get to play the game at a normal speed, which is annoying. And I think is one of the main reasons that I don't really play it anymore. I used to, and like I said, I play it like every couple of years when I remember the game exists. I'm like, oh, I should play that again. Like, it's so fun. And it is. It's a fun, that style of game, fun. I'll say it. I'll be the first to say it. It's fun to play a video game. It's fun to play a mobile game that'll completely destroy your phone battery. Um, but it was so. I remember, God, what the the quests, quote unquote quests in that game, like um the royal wedding quest line. That's the other thing. Oh, my cat's about to walk on my laptop. That's the other thing is the quest lines aren't really in order, which it's hard to do. It's hard to keep them in order with games like that, I guess. Cookie Run did a good job because it has a strict like path for players to follow. Um, Whereas the My Little Pony, it's like an open world thing, so it just depends on what you unlock first. Uh, which kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? Um, but I remember the like royal wedding quest line specifically was just so agonizingly long. Obviously, the Nightmare Moon stuff, which I think the Nightmare Moon stuff is very cool. I like how they did that. I don't know why I'm erasing the foot. I like the foot. I just don't like this part. Um, but the problem with that is obviously, you can get Luna anytime, and you can get anything anytime. It just it feels weird because in my head I'm like the freaking nerd who's like, Luna shouldn't be in this quest because I haven't unlocked all the land in the fucking game. Uh, but maybe that's just a me thing. That may just be a me thing. Anyway, the timing was weird because I also remember the stupid ass Chrysalis quest line with Starlight, Discord, and Vertebrae or whatever the fuck his name is, Thorax. He, I remember the whole thing with that is you couldn't do anything. There was no quest line because it was literally just like You got to another room. Now you get to wait like 72 hours before you can go to the next room. And that was it. That was the quest. That was the quest. Like at least they tried a little bit with, the God, I can't draw this leg. With, the royal wedding, Sombra, like you're actively doing stuff, sort of. Like with the royal wedding, you would get rid of the changelings, which sometimes the changelings would go behind a fucking building and I wouldn't be able to reach them because they would just stand there and they wouldn't move. So then I wouldn't be able to fucking kill them. So then they would just sit there and I'd just have to wait until like the next day or until they like refreshed and reset so I could actually get them. Anyways, yeah, like the time sucked, and it's just it's one of those things where it's like a cookie run. I feel like has mastered the art of because even when you're waiting for stuff in the game, my cat, normal, please don't. Uh, when you're waiting for things in Cookie Run, there's like a billion other things to do at the same time. It's not like, oh, I have to just wait for this one thing and I can't play the game until I do it. Because the quote unquote playing the game is just playing, back and forth bouncy ball with fucking Mrs. Cake or whatever, which is fine. That's fun for like a minute until you like do anything else in the game and then it's like, well, I want to do this now. But no, I can't. I have to sit here and wait for 48 hours or pay like $50 to skip it just for it to be some like stupid cutscene that is ugly and to unlock a character that you still have to like purchase. You're just unlocking the skin to again purchase. And I just remember after that I was sick of it. I was like I can't play this anymore. And I'm sure I will download it again. I know I will. I'll download that game and I'll have just as much fun as I always have while playing it. But goddamn, it pisses me off. It is a frustrating game to play, especially coming from an avid Cookie Run enjoyer. Even though I'm not even playing Cookie Run right now. Well, obviously I'm not playing it right now, but I'm not even. I have the app downloaded, but I haven't opened it in quite some time. Uh, that's how it goes with games like that. But the My Little Pony one specifically, no game has ever made me so disinterested so fast because it's just waiting around for nothing, waiting around for the next payment thing that it wants you to do, which is that if that's your style, if you can afford it, oh, whoops, my remote fell. Uh, then go ahead, whatever. I don't care. I'm just complaining to no one. Uh, I'll make a new layer for the wings. Uh, but it's frustrating because I want to play the game, but then I get bored and I get tempted to pay, and that's how they get you, which is the whole point. Because that's Hasbro's whole thing. Is all. Let me start over. All Hasbro wants to do is make money, which is they're a company. That's the point of a company. I've gotten many comments on my videos where I like do a little like on my drawing my Pony Sona and other styles videos. That was a thing that I wanted to partially use those to kind of talk about My Little Pony, like and talk about the logistics of it. Logistics may not be the right word, but you get what I mean. Now to talk about how I feel about certain aspects and certain controversies in the My Little Pony fandom, specifically with the um, what's it called, Generation 5 and Generation 4.5, I guess. Uh, and a lot of comments that I got on those videos were always like, because I would always comment about how it was just a cash grab, you know. And a lot of comments I would get would be, "Oh, well, it's a company. They're a toy company. Like, obviously, like, yeah." And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. You're a company. You got to make money, but you can put effort into what you're doing. That'd be nice. Like, just because you're a company and the whole point is to like sell toys and make money doesn't give you the right to, treat, you know, the people who want to buy those things like they're babies. And again, another comment I would get is it is a show for babies. And I get that, but also not really, because My Little Pony is it's made for all ages. It's something that is, it is the original concept is for the whole thing with it, like the not the stereotype, like the I can't think of the word. It people look at it and they're like, "Oh, that's for little girls." Which, it is the original concept, but especially My Little Pony, like when bronies became a thing, I feel like bronies get a lot of hate, and a lot of them for good reason. Because some of those guys are fucking weird, but all in all, bronies kind of introduced. It made people realize that the show doesn't just have concepts for little kids. It's concepts for adults. I remember, like, especially in the later seasons when they get more serious, there's literally a whole episode about a little kid, like, learning to deal with her parents' divorce. That's crazy. Not crazy isn't bad, but crazy isn't like that's awesome to cover that in a show because it's something that, as someone with divorced parents, it's not discussed a lot or discussed correctly in because it's very stigmatized because a lot of people get divorces, but it was very cute and it was done well. And I'm going on a tangent about that episode specifically, but the the whole My Little Pony became a very like all ages thing, but it would discuss those topics with rose-colored glasses isn't like the correct term, but it would discuss those topics in a way that little kids could understand, but it would show enough for adults as well. And I think that My Little Pony kind of lost the plot a little bit. God, I hate that phrase. I don't know why I said that. I apologize to me. Uh, it, because it's, yeah, I guess it is a show for girls and little baby girls at that. I can't go tell those commenters, like, no, it's not, because it is. But also, it kind of misses the point. The point of the show being to teach quote unquote friendship lessons at first, but also just like general life lessons that I think a lot of people can learn from. I learned a lot watching the show from ages 8 when I first started getting into it to now I'm 21 years old and I rewatched the show a bunch of times when I was like 19, 20 years old, which I'm not old. I know that. But I'm an older person that the on the outside a lot of people wouldn't look at me and be like, "Oh, they watch My Little Pony." There's no My Little Ponies for babies. It's that. I'm saying a lot more than I need to. My point being is a lot of the comments I would get would be like, "Well, it's for babies," and that's why fucking they make the toys in the newer shows bad. I shouldn't say bad. That's mean. But specifically, like, and I can't speak that much on behalf of Generation 5. I have my qualms with Gen 5 for many reasons not involving the show and the writing itself. But just the concept of it is the concept of Gen 5 alone is something that I dislike greatly. Um, and I can get into that in a minute. But well, maybe I can just get into it now, because well, I don't know. Tough. It's tough to talk about the show without getting into any of that. It's tough to talk about my little. It's it's hard being a fan of My Little Pony. I think I struggle the most, more than anyone ever. Because My Little Pony isn't just for little girls, it's for big boys like me. For the record, I'm joking, obviously, but the some people, some snowflakes, or some flurry hearts, if you will. I'm sorry. I don't know who I'm about. No one's here. I'm by myself. I could stop streaming, but I'm having fun. Man, I'm having a lot of fun talking about My Little Pony. So you know what? I am gonna complain about Gen 5. That's right. You heard it here first. The first person ever to complain about Gen 5 is me. Here I am, and I'm gonna complain about it right now. Gen 5. I remember being so excited when Gen 5 was announced. I was over the moon. I still have messages that I would send to my best friend and roommate of when they first announced it, like the movie cast and stuff. When they uploaded the stuff with like announcing the cast with Vanessa Hudgens, James Marsden, all of them. When that came out, I was so fucking excited, and I think that that's the point of what with the movie. the The movie was to get people excited, obviously, for Gen 5. And it was to set up Gen 5. But they also they really set themselves up for failure with the movie, unfortunately, because it set an expectation. It set a bar for everybody, you know? And I think with a show like that, it can be forgiven, obviously, by children because they don't know. They don't know anything. I shouldn't say that. That was mean. Children know stuff. That's my whole point. Is children know things. They recognize things. Um, can I fucking draw a line? Uh, but it's the movie. The movie was good. I'll say this. I liked the movie. I did. I enjoyed it. I, the group dynamic is obviously derivative from the original cast of characters, that being, Twilight Sparkle, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, all of them. It's, the every generation of My Little Pony is gonna have the same main cast of characters generally. Like obviously there's gonna be some differences to, differentiate it. Normal. Don't do that. My cat is about to drink my drink. Um, but I liked the dynamic of all the characters. I thought they were fun. I liked that. I really liked Zip especially. Um, because that's something that you don't see a lot in shows, especially kid shows, where it's like the athletic, the athletic ones, they're always like abrasive and Rainbow Dash. I have my qualms with Rainbow Dash. Don't even. I'm not even gonna talk much about it, but Rainbow Dash is. I don't like Rainbow Dash. But I like Zip a lot because the and that's the other thing with all the characters is it showed a real duality to them. No, no, normal. We're not gonna do that. My cat started chewing on my tablet pen. Go lay down somewhere. Go. Thank you. Um, and I liked that. I liked that a lot. I liked the personalities of the characters. I liked the concept of the show alone on its own is fun. Like My Little Pony characters, their magic is gone because friendship doesn't exist anymore between uh, beings, pony types, whatever the fuck they are. I don't know, which is cool. The problem with that is that it's set in the same universe as My Little Pony. It's set in the same world. It's set in the same world. It's set in the same timeline. It's just in the future. Which, when I first heard about that, I thought was cool. I thought it was cool to have a generation follow after a previous one rather than just making a whole new thing. The problem with it, though, is it kind of defeats the purpose of Gen 4. It completely shifts because one of my biggest things with shows and movies and any media is I'm someone who loves rewatching things. I love rewatching stuff, and a lot of what I base my opinions on with shows and media is rewatchability. Is it rewatchable? Like, does it like have a solid thing that you can rewatch and be like, oh, I missed that, or oh, that was foreshadowing for this, stuff like that. Which in a show like My Little Pony, rewatching Gen 4, there's not a lot of that, obviously, especially not early on, which is fine because the show is it's an episode by episode linear thing. There's a term for that, but I don't remember what it is, and I'm not looking it up. My point being, having Gen 5 follow the main show, it sucks because it's like, the what the hell happened? You go from the finale of Gen 4. I'm struggling with this line, by the way, like hard. Can I like do this? No. uh, the finale of Gen 4, the whole like the ending of Gen 4 in general, it's every quote unquote creature. I hate that term, by the way. Every creature, so horrible. They could have come up with anything else. They could have just used everybody. Whatever. Um, is that everyone gets along. Everyone gets along, and it's all hunky dory. But then suddenly, however many years in the future, obviously not that many years, because Spike is alive. Supposedly, there's some characters in the show that I think are meant to be like from like remember that old stuff, whatever. And it's just like, okay, so how many years has it been? What, like maybe 100? Probably not even 1,000. And My Little Pony loves using like, oh, 1,000 years ago, because everything happened 1,000 years ago. Nothing happened. It was a very busy 1,000 years ago in the show. Um, but it's like, well, what's the point then? It defeats the point of the main show because then it's like, well, why? What did I just watch all that for? If they're just gonna not only backtrack back to everyone hates each other, every quote unquote creature hates each other, but now every pony hates each other. How are we at a worse point than the original show, where ponies were friends with each other, but not friends with any other creature? How are we like it defeats the point because it's like, well, what did they do? What did the main six do all that work for? What did the student six do all that work for? What's the point of Gen 4 at that point? It completely and I think that's part of the reason why I stopped rewatching it for for like a fourth time because it felt pointless. Because in my head, I'm like, well, nothing in this show matters because everything's gonna end up sucking in the future for everyone, and that's not fun. It's not a fun thought. Let's see what's going on here. I don't want to watch something that I know is gonna suck. I hate doing that. Um, it just completely kills my enthusiasm for the show when as its own thing is fine, especially because you know, and I get it. It's because they did the 3D models. I'm about to start going on a completely different tangent. This isn't related to what I just said at all. But even it's set in the same universe, but cutie marks are different. Everything's different. Like, which is fine. Being different is fine. Having a different show, it's not the same generation, and I know that. People compare it to Gen 4. I honestly don't think it's fair to compare them if it was completely different. But the fact that it is supposed to be the future of the Gen 4 world, it's supposed to be a continuation. That's where it's like, okay, it's fair to compare because it's literally the same thing. They're trying to make it that. And that's where you lose me because it defeats the purpose of Gen 4. It's like, well, what did we do all that work for then? What did we fight all those battles for? What did we make all those friends for? Because it doesn't matter. And I get that that's like a whole thing where it's like, well, that doesn't matter why it matters. It happened, and that's just how it goes. And I get that, but it's disheartening. That's not something you want to see. It's like, well, I watched this 9-season show about friendship, and I watched them build this wonderful life for everyone in Equestria, and then it just gets ruined by something. I don't even know what. Because I didn't watch Gen 5. But I feel like at that point it shouldn't matter. Because it's like, well, I don't know. And again, having another alicorn, having, what was her name? Opaline or whatever. I don't know much about her. I know she supposedly is had a relationship with Celestia, Luna, Twilight, all them. Again, stupid, because she didn't exist in the main show. And I think it's dumb to. I hate when shows just force conflict by introducing completely new characters that have never been brought up once. And that's why I feel like while it normally wouldn't be fair to compare a generation of a show to the previous generation of a show. Like, you can't compare Gen 4 to Gen 3. Those are two completely different shows. But the fact that Gen 5 is claiming to be this continuation of Gen 4, that's where you lose me, because it's like, well, you kind of set yourself up for failure here. You set yourself up to be compared. And I think it's fair to compare the shows generally. Do I think people can be a little nicer? Yeah, because a lot of the hate is being towards, like, you know, the I know the voice actors got a lot of hate, which again, they set themselves up for failure with that one. Not the voice actors, the showrunners, by doing the movie first and hiring this, like, a bunch of, like, B-list actors. Why the hell would they do that? Because then that's they're setting themselves up to be compared to media that is objectively better than what they ended up giving us. And that's where they failed. Because then it's like, well, you did this. You made your bed, now sleep in it. So Gen 5 can be compared to Gen 4. Gen 5 can be compared to Gen 4. That's my argument. Because they did it. They made it in the future. Also, Spike sucks in the future. I've seen that design. It's ugly. Do I prefer it to Buff Spike? I don't know. I honestly can't tell what's worse. But it is this hair, girl. I'm done messing with it. But oh my god, I'm stretching. That okay. Okay. Do I Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop streaming now. I'm gonna stop, and I will put out an actual warning. Not a warning. Warning's not a good word. I'll keep the. Should I keep this stream up? Might as well. I think it's cute. I like the drawing that I started. I'll finish it. And I'll post it. Um, Probably. Maybe I'll do more because I think this is really cute. The problem is, I didn't. Well, I have the stream because I didn't turn on the time lapse. It's fine. Okay, I'm done. I'll be streaming again probably, maybe tonight. Because this was fun. And maybe I'll make like a list of topics and stuff, and I'll actually prepare. Um, so yeah. Goodbye, nobody. It's just me. Goodbye.